Hello and welcome back to my channel, Wellness and Motherhood. My name is Kiana, and as you can tell by the title of this video, my husband and I are over city life. We just feel so deeply stuck in the rat race. He's a dental hygienist and I'm a registered nurse, and the city we just feel so overwhelmed here just by all the noise, the commotion. We have more house than we need, more bills than we want, and more debt than we can afford. The student loan debt, oh my God, it's embarrassing how much debt that we have, from our house to our car, like I said, to student loan debt, medical bills, and just the noise of the city. Like, we're already overwhelmed with the mountains of debt that we're in. And like I said, just this all the things that the city has to offer just can feel very overwhelming and overstimulating. So in this video, I will be discussing the plan that we have to get ourselves out of this hole that we are currently stuck in. If you feel anything like we do, then you may also want to consider this thing. And this thing is downsizing. Yes, we are going from a 2,000 square foot townhouse in the city to a 240 square foot shed in a rural area in an agriculturally zoned part of town in South Virginia. So this sounds very dramatic, but drastic times calls for drastic measures. And my suggestion is, if you feel anything like we do, and again, I can't really speak from experience because we haven't made that leap into downsizing yet, but I will be sure to keep you guys posted. But if you are feeling anything like we are, then downsizing may be an option for you, whether that's living with family, moving in with a friend. We see plenty of people who do RV life, van life. We have thought of moving into a tent, just only because of all the bills that we have. And I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I am a stay-at-home mom, but it's been really tough financially. We are homeschooling our children. We want to grow our own food and be more self sustainable. But with the mountains of debt that we have, it just seems so impossible to reach with the current circumstances that we are in. Being able to keep up with the expenses of this house and living in the city, it just seems so very far away to accomplish the goal that we have. So we are making this drastic change to see if it improves our quality of life and then also decreases our expenses so that we can have more money to put towards all of this debt that we have. My husband and I bought a 3-acre property of land, like I said, in South Virginia, and it is completely raw land that we have been clearing on our own. I will share the details of that in another video, but like I said, we are planning to clear the land and plop a little tiny house on there, and we can get into all the details of what our plan would be for that in a different video. But we plan on doing a compost toilet and collect rainwater, whole water if we need to. Eventually, we'll get solar on the property. We have propane tanks. We have a propane stove. We plan to get a wood stove for heating. And it is a very unconventional thing that we are planning to do. It is not typical for, the average American to live this kind of lifestyle. We have no experience living this way. So just please stay tuned as I bring you guys with us through our journey. We have stayed on our land multiple times and camped out. The longest we stayed on there was 4 days. So we are making a very, very big leap to do this, but it just feels like it can't get any worse than it is right now. Like, I mean, ultimately we are happy. Like, we have God, we have each other, we love each other, we love our kids. We have 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. We have a dog, and we just ultimately want to spend more time with each other. We just feel, like I said, so trapped in this rat race with the student loans and the government taking all this money in taxes. And my husband, he's working, and then when we look at the check to see how much money came out in taxes, it is unbelievably frustrating. And so we just need a break just from all of the noise and all of the commotion. So like I said, we are looking at a 12 by 20 shed, which is ultimately 240 square feet. We plan on ordering it within the next month or two. And I will definitely keep you guys updated on what that looks like and what the process will be like for finishing it out. We currently have our house listed on the market. We have accepted an offer for it. We're just waiting for all the details to be ironed out so we can have a for sure closing date. And then we will be out of here, and I'm so excited. Like I said, I'm nervous because I've never lived this lifestyle before, but I'm also excited to just be closer to God, closer to nature, closer to my husband, closer to my kids. Like, cleaning this house is insane. It is 4 stories, and it is just so much work, and we're just excited for something tiny that I can clean up in 20 minutes, and then we can go and play outside. That is the plan, that is the expectation. And I'm asking you guys to pray for us. And like I said, I will keep you posted on how everything is going. I think one important thing to note when downsizing this drastically is it's not necessarily something that we have to do. This is something that we get to do and something that we want to do, and there is no other option regarding, the lifestyle that we want to live. We could stay in the city. I could go back to work, pick up some extra shifts as a nurse, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to trade hours of our life for, a little bit of money just to pay bills, just to be in this house and be in this city. And there are some tremendous amenities in the city. Like, we have a zoo nearby, we have a museum, we have an aquarium, we have lots of parks. But in this season, none of it feels worth it. It doesn't feel worth it to trade my time for these amenities. So, like I said, we have no other option. Like, it's either I go back to work and we stay in the city, or we can't really afford a house in the country. Interest rates are through the roof, housing prices are through the roof, and with the debt that we have, we just don't want to take on any more debt. We're trying to get rid of the debt that we already have. So that the shed is something that is really affordable in comparison to an apartment, or in comparison to purchasing a new house on land. Like, all of those things are really expensive. So we are trying to go the absolute cheapest route possible to give us more time and more freedom. So, time to, with each other, and then freeing up our money to pay off of these debts. And then maybe later, not maybe later, but later, we will build a house and be able to live a more modern, I guess you can say, lifestyle. Maybe a little bit, I don't know. My husband wants to stay on grid, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, he wants to stay off grid. So we'll see how that goes. But like I said, I will definitely take you guys along with us on this journey. There were so many other alternative lifestyle options that we were considering. Like I said, the RV, but that would have been a little bit difficult for us to park it on our property because our property is sloped. And then also the heating would have been more of a concern, because with the shed, we can put a wood stove in. And I think that would be a little bit more difficult to do with an RV. And the RVs are typically less insulated, based on the research that I've done. I felt, like I said, I thought of van life. I see people do it with kids, but that just seems maybe too much for us. Like, having to turn the bed into a table and then lift it up to find the toilet, and then the kitchen folds down when you move the bits. Like, I don't know. It looks cool, but I don't know. The shed seems like it may be better suited for us. So we'll see how that goes. We've tried living with family. That's an option, but with 2 kids, that's just not really ideal either. I would do it if that was our only option, but like I said, the shed, is an option for us, and that's the one that we are choosing to take. But for you, if you feel this way, you feel like you want to downsize, and you're looking for ways where you can drastically cut back on your expenses. If you have family or friends that you can stay with, it will not be comfortable. I mean, well, I don't know what your family and friends are like, but I am willing to bet money that the average person does not want to squeeze their entire family into someone else's house, or to someone else's apartment. But like I said, drastic times call for drastic measures, and you got to do what you got to do to get to where you want to go. And so that's how we look at it. And, like I said, we're excited, and I just can't wait to see, all that this entails, and to see how the kids adapt to this new environment that they will be in. We fell into the trap that society laid out in front of us. I feel like if you don't have, this is no shade to our parents, but if you don't have parents that are really guiding you and helping you to figure out, what you want to do in your life, it can be very easy to just succumb to whatever the norm is around you. And for us, the norm was, you graduate high school, you go to college, you get a good job, you make decent money, you get married, you have kids, you buy a house. We did all those things literally in order. And now we're here, and we're like, this is stupid. Like, you're working 40 hours a week. I was working 36 hours a week at one point, 3 12-hour shifts as a nurse. And it's like, We're expected to send our kids to strangers for 40 hours out of the week so that we can afford all of these bills that we have accumulated, on top of giving a third of our check to the government. Like I don't know, the math was not math for us, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna push back on this trap that we have found ourselves in. That's what it feels like. Somebody says, it's not a trap, you made those choices. Yes, we did, but it's still a trap. I think it's a trap. But anyway, please stay tuned for more videos as I share this journey that we are on. And I thank you for watching this one to the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.